Fancy downsizing from your BMW saloon, but the 1 Series is just that little bit too impractical for you? Well, don't worry, because there's always the X1. For instance, it's got a really useful boot. It's a decent size, and because it's hardly any lip, it's easy to lift luggage, even if it's heavy, in and out. You can fold down the seats almost completely flat, as I'll illustrate now with some handy cutaways. There's even some underfloor storage there, and you can use these handy dividers if you have the urge for some craps at the service station. Just don't go losing your car on a dodgy bet. The X1 is also very practical here in the front. Now, when I first went on the launch of this car a couple of years ago, the guy who designed the interior explained to me that they'd specifically shaped the door bins to take a big bottle because that was an important thing to customers. Now, ever since then, I've been a bit fixated with being able to fit large bottles in the side door bin. So let's see. It doesn't quite fit. Oh, there it does, just about. As for the cupboards, well, there's quite a few. We've got one up here on the dash. There's some useful space down there, obviously under the centre armrest, a cup holder, and this weird shaped cubby here, which I think is perfect for storing, well, a fromage frais. It's easy to find your ideal driving position here in the X1 because, as well as all the usual adjustments in the steering wheel and seat, you can also tilt the seat and extend the base. As for standard equipment, all cars get DSC anti-skid control, rear parking sensors and air conditioning. You can get the X1 with either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive version, which is what this car is slightly more agile and has marginally improved economy, whereas the all-wheel drive version has superior grip and some mild off-roading capability. That said, both models will handle most other crossovers on the twisty bits thanks to precise steering and virtually no body roll in corners. The X1 is also good on the motorway. It feels planted at speed, hardly any road or wind noise enters the cabin, and the seats are nice and comfortable. Plus, because it can do up to 54 miles per gallon, you won't have to keep stopping at the services, which is handy if you're trying to crack your gambling habit. Unfortunately though, the X1 is not so good in town because at lower speeds, the firm suspension gives you quite a lumpy ride. Another problem is that despite being a crossover, you don't seem to sit that much higher than in other vehicles, and as a result, you don't benefit from that great forward visibility. What's more, rear visibility isn't that good either because the back window is quite small. However, by far and away the worst thing about this car in town is the steering, because it's as though BMW completely forgot to fit power assistance. For instance, after a couple of manoeuvres, or if you have to go around a mini roundabout such as this, you soon start to feel the burn in your arms. And I think that if you regularly drive an X1 in town, you're going to end up with forearms like Popeye, and that's not really a very good look. Another problem is the quality, because while all this may look particularly posh, on closer inspection it's actually a bit budget. I mean, listen to the cheap noises the trim makes. That's not very good, is it really? And then there's the back seats. Now, I must point out first of all, there is plenty of headroom. I mean, look at that. But legroom, that's not so special, and this huge transmission tunnel means that this middle seat, it's completely redundant, unless you like sitting like that, which obviously you wouldn't want to, would you? And you wouldn't want to make any of your friends or children sit like that either, so you may as well just fold down this armrest and use its cup holders. Finally, there's the awkward looks, which, well, only a mother could love, and the price, because the X1 is rather expensive, unless of course you're downsizing from something like a 5 Series.